Nah, what up, yo? It's your girl Tylee. Welcome to Lee Central. Let's get it poppin', y'all. But yeah, let's just get into this. Well, before I get into this, the reason why I'm not behind the camera, I want to kind of check out this audio, and see if I can fuck with y'all, via audio. Not every time a bitch feel like getting dressed and, sitting here doing all this shit and getting all fancy looking. Even though I'm always in a blanket when I'm talking to y'all, I just like to feel like, we all one and we all connected and we all, family sitting at home talking. So for the most part, I'm sitting here with my titties out. My girlfriend not sitting here, or my wife is sitting here with her titties out. We just tittied up, we just tittied the fuck up. We ready to roll. It's hot as fuck. I hope y'all titties is out. Or if you a nigga, I hope that chest out, you know what I mean? Get that shit out, it's hot as fuck and ooh. Whew. Anyway, let's really get into this. um Speaking of all of the stuff that we was talking about, I kinda wanted to get into a little segment, and it's basically three things that I kinda wanted to talk about. Uh why healing and moving on is so important. Why didn't you heal yet? And steps to healing. Um, this one is kind of a little special to me because I've been going through a lot of this myself. So, I'm kind of here with y'all. As far as what the fuck I'm talking about. Um, kind of, we all young adults or adults or preteens, whoever's watching, and it's hard, trying to get a career, trying to get your life back on track, or trying to get your life on track, um, trying to, do right, trying to eat right, trying to, excuse me, trying to, just get yourself together. That shit is all hard. So for the most part, that's kind of why I wanted to get into this. I feel like this kind of would be a refresher and kind of like a therapy session in a way for you guys, so we could uh navigate this shit called life together and kind of see that you're not going through this alone. You know what I mean? I'm thinking about making an email, so I might drop an email or like something that I could talk to you guys or y'all could talk to me through, just in case. You know what I mean? Some people, I don't want everybody to feel like that they alone. So what better? I ain't got bullshit. I'm not no suicide hotline, but I would definitely be there if I could help, for sure, for sure. And it could be anonymous or not. But yeah, yeah. So we're gonna get right into this. Let's talk about why didn't you heal yet? To me and my wife was just kind of talking about this. We kind of just made this shit up as we went, and it was a perfect topic to get in back to getting into the podcast. I want to say the first thing is you didn't really come to terms with, what I mean, you actually needing to heal, or you're still in denial about whatever the fuck you need to heal about. Some things could be a tough pill to swallow. Sometimes you don't want to look in the mirror and look at yourself. Sometimes, you kind of just are so naive that you don't want to look at yourself, or you kind of so delusional that you don't want to look into the mirror and really see what the fuck is going on. You know what I mean? So I feel like a lot of things that come with that is, you didn't come to terms with it yet, and you're kind of still in denial about it. So, of course, you ain't gonna be able to, heal from something when you don't wanna come to terms with it, or you kind of in denial about it. That's like a bitch, saying that a nigga that hit her love her. You know what I mean, bitch? How could he, love you if he beating your ass? You know what I mean? So you kind of still in denial, my nigga. Um, Another thing that's really big to me is hope or hoping. Um, Healing got a lot to do with holding on. So hope is a big thing. You want to hope somebody going to change. You want to hope that it's not really that way. You want to hope that this isn't how it really is. Or you hoping that something could kind of be different. But, sometimes if it's been long enough and it's really been dwelling on you, hope ain't gonna be the only thing that gets you through this. So I definitely feel like hope and hoping is definitely, some things that is kind of on like bitch you wildin', like you know what I mean. Like you could hope for some time, but hope could get you in trouble. Hope could really get your ass in trouble sometimes. So don't be too big on hope. Hope is really, it's good to have hope, but and I feel like anybody who hope or is hoping knows what I mean. You feel me? Um, Another thing is not understanding. And the only way I could kind of put this is not knowing why they are this way, or why would they do something like this to me, or why am I like this? Why, you know what I mean? Did it turn out to be this way? Why did do this have to be the end scenario? Not understanding some things could leave you, you know what I mean? It's kind of like closure. It's kind of like closure. So when people don't have closure, then or if you don't have if you're not closing a chapter in your life, you kind of gonna be a little weary about what the fuck is going on. You know what I mean? Because you're gonna be like, that's weird. Like why? Why is more dangerous to me than hope. You feel me? Because at the end of the day, if it's showing, or if the person is doing or you're doing, it's really no why in the situation. It's kind of there. So it's kind of just like, don't kind of don't kind of depend on the why, or if you're trying to understand it, don't try to just drag it. You know what I mean? Like another reason why you probably didn't heal yet is because you overplaying your role. Now, every time I'm scrolling down my social media, I'm always seeing people always talking about overplaying a role, and oh, motherfuckers only hit my phone when they want this. Motherfuckers only want my phone when they do that, or when they want this, or when it come to that. The phone work both ways, this and that, and this and that, and the third. 9 times out of 10, when you overplaying your role, and you feel like you overplaying your role, that means that the other person, is not doing what they supposed to do for you. And that means that you're doing it for them, but they're not doing it for you. And when it comes to that, the only thing I could kind of say is, after you tried the amount of times, or you expressed how you felt a couple times, no matter if they felt like you was wilding or not, if they told you that it was going to change, or if they respect you enough to feel like, all right, your emotions, or how you feel, or how I'm treating you, or what I'm doing, or even to yourself, you know what I mean? Like when you can overplay your role to yourself, you know what I mean? A lot of people do too much on themselves, or are too hard asses, or emotionless or heartless. And it's kind of weird, because it's just like, why are you treating yourself that way? You know what I mean? So it's just like, get off your high horse to yourself, get off your high horse to anybody else, and to the other people, like, you know what I mean, as far as dealing with the people that you're overplaying your roles to. Do what the fuck you gotta do, you know what I mean? Like, if you feel like you stressing them too much, you feel me, you're never gonna feel free unless you just relieve yourself from that situation. Now, it could be all love still, you feel me? Like I told you guys, I'm still in the midst of doing all of the things that I'm telling y'all that I'm doing. So, you know what I mean? I hope that the people that I had to remove myself away from understands that there's no love lost. You feel me? It's just the fact that I told, you know what I mean? I explained myself to people numerous amounts of times, and at the end of the day, I feel like, one, I am my sign. Like, no funny shit. Like, we gonna ride as much as we can for you, but when we done, we really done. And it's just like, nobody kind of expect us to be done because the amount of chances we give a person. Because I'm not saying nobody gonna, fuck my wife, and then I'm gonna be like, oh my God, I'm still gonna be your friend, or I'm still, no, not like, but things that, I could be a little sensitive about, you know what I mean? Or doing this or doing that. But like I was explaining to my wife, at the end of the day, if that person felt like my sensitivity was too much, that meant that they didn't really care about me too much. Because at the end of the day, if you know I'm sensitive, then cater to that sensitivity. Same like I'm gonna do you. If you sensitive towards something, what would you expect me to tell you dragging it, or would you want me to be, compassionate about the situation because you're sensitive about it? So just keep that in mind. You feel me? At the end of the day, if a person not treating you the way you treating them, and you feel like you doing too much, remove yourself from the situation, or you ain't gonna be able to heal. Um, Last but not least, why didn't you heal yet? Trauma. A lot of things that have to do with trauma, self worth, and self esteem problems. Real shit. A lot of people, they go through things and it makes them the way that they are when it comes to healing. And everybody heals different, and everybody's trauma is different, so everybody's trauma makes them react a little different. But I feel like people got to understand, when you are a grown woman, you kind of, or a grown man, you cannot use your trauma as your kryptonite. You cannot sit here and say I did this because I went through this. Yes, like at the end of the day, sometimes that should be a reason not to do the things that you do. A lot of people are in the midst of doing things that they had done to them when they know how they felt when they got done to them. So to me, it's like you rather doing that shit because you really that type of person, or you just have no control over your what you do and all of that shit. And I highly doubt that people, we all the same age or around the same age, or y'all motherfuckers, growner. So at the end of the day, you know, it's not fucking hard ass math. Don't do no shit that you didn't like done to you as trauma. You know what I mean? If something happened to you, don't do no extra shit. You know what I mean? Now that leads me to self worth. A lot of people blame their traumas for what they went through, or because of what they went through, and they mix it up with self-worth. Self-worth and people having self-worth problems has nothing to do with your past. To me, in my opinion, it doesn't have. It can have a lot to do with it, but at the end of the day, if you love yourself for real, you're not gonna let that shit get in the way. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, real shit. Because I've been through situations and I've seen other people go through situations, all types of people. And it's two types of people: the people who don't love themselves for real. And I watched it blossom. I got to experience a person who dealt with self worth issues and honestly got to rejuvenate herself because of the people that she was around, because she removed herself from one situation and went to another and got treated better and learned a lot about herself and learned about how she was supposed to be treated. And then, me and her got a lot of one on one time. So she kind of got to learn about, all of the shit that was kind of wrong or kind of right. Sometimes you need a person to tell you this, but in the same sense, she got to kind of build herself out of the concrete and grow into a rose because of her self worth. You know what I mean? Like, because of her former group, they, or even her past, it fucked her up. So at the end of the day, she kind of got to remove herself from that, or remove herself mentally from that. First is physically, and then is mentally. You know what I mean? You can never move on physically, mentally, if you don't move on physically. So after she moved on physically, she got herself together mentally along the way, and realized that, yeah, I went through all of these traumas, but I only went through these traumas and tribulations because of how I felt. Because of how I felt about myself. Not, you know what I mean, at the end of the day. And then I look at it kind of sort of like, that's kind of how it really is. You know what I mean? You gotta love yourself, and you gotta work on your self love and your self esteem problems. Like self esteem and self worth is a lot. You know what I mean? I can't really talk about self esteem too much. You know what I mean? Because I kind of don't even know what I mean. But as I was rating it, I kind of felt like that kind of was one of them. Like I feel like whoever got the self esteem issues kind of sort of could understand it. So if you could kind of, help me understand more, or, you're more than welcome to. Like I said, I might leave an email, drop that shit, and I'll write in the comments. You feel me? But yeah.